Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, March the 2nd, 2015, the first Raw of March. And tonight's Raw, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Good, there's some okay good matches, including a very interesting Divas match tonight, sadly ended in DQ. But at least WWE's trying to give the Divas, main roster, enough time to wrestle like they do on NXT. At least they're on the right track. Let's see if they keep it that way. I'll comment more about that later. The bad and the ugly. A lot of promos tonight. I used to say this about TNA sometimes. You need a little ass talk and a lot more action. Boy, but there wasn't a lot of action tonight. Even though you had, if you saw my the subtitle, I think it's up here, but now it's down here now. We had, of course, Jon Stewart making a little cameo. And we return of a former Divas champion I thought was done with the company. So, but like I said, there's a lot of promos tonight. There was even a good one for Paul Heyman. But it was still a decent one despite the promos, despite the lengthy segments tonight. But nights like, even though it was a fun Raw, nights like this, with a lot of segments like this, makes us fans say one thing. And this is why we watch NXT. Because NXT, you have more matches in an hour of NXT than the first hour of Raw combined. You know what I mean? It's more matches in 1 hour NXT than there was during the first hour of Raw tonight. But still, that's what happens when you have a 3-hour show. And the New York crowd, New York, New Jersey, tonight was in Prudential Center, was a decent crowd today. You know, as usual, the smart fans are chanting a lot. They're wearing a smart t-shirt, but still. There you go with that. Now, let's get on with the overall thoughts on Raw. We kick off with Seth Rollins. Talking about Jon Stewart making a cameo tonight on Raw. As he would host his own daily show. This feud kind of started when Seth Rollins made fun of Jon Stewart doing a promo on Raw a few weeks ago. He crashed the daily show on Thursday during a moment of zen. He was ready to take care of Stewart tonight. And then all of a sudden he was going to talk about Mr. Stewart. Here comes Roman Reigns to a mixed reception like usual. Mixed crowd of boos and cheers. And Reigns still proves that he has not a lot of charisma on the mic. I think that's a lot of things. One of many things he lacks. Although he did show decent things during the main event today. I'll give him credit for some things in the main event. Credit for some things. Mic skills need a lot to get worked on. Like, I saw a post on Facebook today that says he has the personality of a potato. He almost agrees. He's like, continue on, Rollins. Continue bragging. Because you're not the one who's going to face Brock Lesnar. I'm the one who's going to beat Brock Lesnar as champion. And then Rollins kept bragging, kept flapping his guns, and Rollins is like, I want a piece of you. I can beat you any day of the week, Reigns. And Reigns like, how about now? Bang! Smacked him in the face. We had a little brawl. And Rollins tried to escape with the change in security, taking the blow with the spears from Reigns to both J&J security. As Rollins went out unscathed. But we would have our main event named Rollins against Reigns for later on in the evening. So an intriguing feud started for the match tonight. Now it was just those two and the J&J guys. No authority, no nothing. So these ready to kick off Raw. Now on to our first matchup. Non-title match for the Intercontinental Championship. Dean Ambrose against Bad News Barrett. Now, as we would see throughout the evening, the theme for the night when it comes to IC Championship, everyone was playing a game of hot potato. As you've been seeing for the last week, everyone's been stealing the IC Championship. Dean Ambrose started by stealing at the Fastlane. And then R-Truth stole it. All these people kept stealing it, playing hot potato with it. It continued tonight. Of course, early on in the weekend, we had the ladder match named the Wade Barrett BNB would defend the IC Championship in a ladder match with multiple superstars. R-Truth was the first guy named, but I already predicted on my Attack Sports who I think will also be in it. And we saw that throughout the evening. So we have Dean Ambrose and Bayley's better. I think a whole lot better than their match at Fastlane. First things first, not a screwy ending. Well, at least we did have an interference, but at least it wasn't a DQ or a counter like it was at the Fastlane. But it was a pretty fun match between these two guys. R-Truth was at ringside, and it was a fun match between Ambrose and decent action there between both these guys. I love both these guys. Barry got to nail the winter chains at one time. And Ambrose started flying, doing all his crazy moves. And R-Truth decided to steal the belt again. Ambrose carried it with him on the way to the ring. Then Truth stole it. But then here comes Luke Harper in the mix. Now Luke Harper's putting his name in the hat when it comes to being involved in the IC title picture. He is a former champion after all. So he took the belt from R-Truth. And as Raybear was setting up the bullhammer, he saw Harper got distracted. And Ambrose capitalized on that distraction by giving him the dirty deeds and 1, 2, 3 victory. 1, 2, 3 dirty deeds. Had to do a little AC/DC every time I think about dirty deeds. By Ambrose, I think of that. So Ambrose win things for a little help from Harper, taking the IC championship. As we would see, this would not be the only time we would see the IC title play hot potato. But now to the next segment. A backstage segment involving Miz and Mizdow, a continuing combination that will finally see Mizdow turn on Miz. We've been seeing Miz treat Mizdow very badly as a personal assistant for the last couple of weeks. Even last week, Mizdow said he gets a commercial. And we saw that commercial today. Niagara. WWE makes cheesy, corny jokes a lot. But Miz was actually funny. The Niagara commercial was kind of funny. And then Miz is like, me and my little general, because he had all these superstars watching, like Anna Rose backstage, and Summer Way, and all these other people, and it was kind of funny. Sometimes, like I said, when WWE does jokes like this, it comes off corny or cheesy. Not in this case. It was kind of a funny segment. So, Miz was like, Mizdow, I hate you. Bitch slapped him. Looked like Mizdow was going to finally turn on Miz. But then Miz teased that if I fire you, Mizdow, you'll be fired from the company as well. You know, threatening to fire him. But we all know it's going to culminate with the Mizdow turn. It'll happen eventually. Sooner than later. Hopefully, sooner. Now on to our next segment. Involving Bray Wyatt, once again, sending a message to The Undertaker. Bringing another casket. This time, kind of like an old school casket. Kind of like from the early days of the casket match. Like the casket that was used, the style of casket that was used from 1992 to 94. Like an old school casket that I used for like the Kamala casket match, for Yokozuna casket match, kind of like that. Old school casket. And Bray Wyatt killed it again with another great promo. Want to see The Undertaker come out and accept this challenge for WrestleMania. A lot of people are very on the fence about seeing Taker again. The possibility of seeing Taker again with the mystique and the aura of the streak gone. Some people are like, Taker should stay retired because if Taker does come back, it won't be the same. But I think this could be good because Taker's got a lot to prove to himself and to the fans. That even though, yes, he lost in the streak, which in many people's eyes, in my eyes too, it should have never happened. Or if he did end up losing, should have lost to anybody better than Brock Lesnar. He has got a lot to prove. I'd like to see what he does. If he does enter the challenge of Bray, it looks like it's Bray Wyatt and another great promo, but saying, I don't fear you anymore, Taker. You're a broken man. I am the new king of fear. I'm going to destroy everything in my path. And he lit the casket on fire. He didn't lit the whole thing on fire, though. He had like about a gallon of gasoline. He just poured it on the top of the casket. He didn't pour the entire gasoline on the entire casket. So only the top lit up, not the entire casket. So he kind of failed on that. But at least he didn't fail on delivering the message to Taker again by doing that. Now on to our next matchup. This is when the segments got very long here. Like I said, last segment's in between matches tonight. Some were fun, but I knew you were trying to build up for WrestleMania. I can understand that. Why these segments are necessary, but it's like in a 3 hour show like this with a lot of segments, like I said, it's like nights like this where you say, thank God we watch NXT. This is why we watch NXT. Speaking of NXT, of course, Tyson Kidd has broke out of NXT. He's won having a tag team championship with Cesaro now. He and his wife, Natalya and Cesaro, teamed up against the Usos in a 6-person tag. This stems from last week's title match, involving Tyson Kidd and Cesaro against the Usos when the wives got involved. When Natty got involved, putting Tyson's foot on the rope, where actually Naomi pushed Tyson's feet off the rope, and then Natalya cost him the match, causing a DQ. She broke her foot. She fell and twisted her ankle. And she looked pretty good. In the moment she was in the match with Naomi, a fun little 6-person tag with Usos gunning on revenge, trying to get another shot at the titles. A pin could do well for them. You know. And then the quick tags from Cesaro coming in. And then Natalya got in and gelled with Naomi for a little bit until she fell gingerly on that ankle that she apparently broke, like I said, last week during the match. Last week in the tag team title match. So Natalya quickly tagged back in one of the boys. Tyson Kidd came back in. He got double super kicked. He was set up for a double super kick after attacking Jimmy with some big moves. Jimmy started coming back with some high flying moves like a somersault and big flip, avoiding the Rikishi splash. But like I said, as he was getting set up from the Usos to get a super kick, he was tagging Natalya. Natalya was not too happy because she, like I said, she fell gingerly on her ankle, and she was arguing with Tyson, Naomi, who had to get tagged in since the females could only wrestle the females in this mixed tag match, took advantage of that ill-fated distraction, that miscommunication, should I say, between husband and wife, and rolled up for the 1-2-3 victory for the Usos and Naomi in this matchup. And Natalya was not happy that she got tagged in by Tyson. Tyson was trying to save his own ass. He hid behind his wife again. He hid behind her like he always does. Fact. Likes to say fact a lot. And Natalya was pissed because she told him that she had a broken ankle. And she fell on it during the match. Fact. But they all kissed and made up. Fact. There's a weird thing. This weird relationship. Natalya was looking like she was going to go up on Tyson, and Tyson tried to settle it down. So there you go. Now on to our next scenario of John Cena. Last week he challenged Rusev to a rematch for the U.S. Championship at WrestleMania following the screwy little finish at Fastlane when he got low blowed during the match behind the referee's back. He never really lost. He just, like I said, he lost dirty. He always never loses clean. There's rare instances of a John Cena clean victory. A clean loss. Daniel Bryan has one of those clean losses. CM Punk kind of too. Well, interference, but still counts as a clean victory. Anyway, Cena came out saying that he was disappointed that Rusev had denied his challenge for the U.S. Championship. And he's like, well, it's a round of U.S. title match. I want to be in a match with WrestleMania because of my big ego. Because John Cena, I love the New York crowd doing that. Like, John Cena sucks. And apparently, he's like, oh, I'm going to be at WrestleMania after the wall. I'm going to be in the Under the Giant Battle Royal. Boo. And then Stephanie came out saying, Cena, I deny you placement in the Battle Royal. I don't think you should be in WrestleMania this year. Yeah! You hear the fans cheer that Cena's going to actually miss WrestleMania, which will never fucking happen in a million fucking years. Cena will eventually get to WrestleMania. I guarantee Rusev will accept. But then we saw Curtis Axel come out. I'll give Axel credit for going along with this Axelmania thing, since not really getting eliminated for the Battle Royal 1, but you never really got in. You didn't even get in. And the whole thing of the Axelmania, he wore the Axelmania t-shirt last week, and the Axelmania trunks this week. He was quoting Hulk Hogan, like, Axelmania is running around. Even on the fans tonight, chant Axelmania. Now you know that something's getting over when the fans in New York chant it. And he's like, what you gonna do when Axelmania was right on you? And he ripped the shirt off and did that was kind of funny. I hope this gets Axel over. You know what I mean? Axel's getting kind of over with this Axelmania thing. I'll give him credit for it. Even though he was destroyed by John Cena in like 35 fucking seconds during the match. You know, Axel touched some offense, but then got a quick FU, SCFU, tap, 1, 2, 3 victory. And then Rusev came out and said, Senator McMahon, who came out, like I said, during the Cena interview, said that I'm the only one who has the fate in the hands of myself to choose of whether or not I should face you at Mania. My answer is still no. Cena may still do a lot of convention for Rusev to change his mind. It'll eventually happen. But it was still a fun little feud building with Cena and Rusev. It's going to happen. Cena's going to eventually convince Rusev to accept the challenge at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Now on to another segment. Let's have a lot of segment heavy one tonight. I know, like I said, the necessary because of Mania coming up, but like I said, nights like this make us relish the fact we watch NXT where we see more matches in an hour than the first hour of Raw. But still, segments somewhat necessary. But hey, should have cut. Like, it made them more shorter. That's the thing. We have Triple H coming out. This is probably, of all the segments, it's probably the most unnecessary one. Triple H coming out, talking about his match with Sting. This is the first time he never commented anything after the confrontation with Sting at Fastlane, where the official match was made for them at WrestleMania. And he's like, I'm going to beat up Sting at WrestleMania. I am WWE. He's the king of WCW. And he called Booker T out. Booker T's got a documentary that's airing right now on the network. Cheap plug. Anyway, he came out because Booker T was a WCW guy. He wrestled Sting. He knew Sting very well. And so he was trying to intimidate Booker. But Triple H saying, I got control. And I'm going to fire you. And I was like, wait a minute. What? And then Triple H was like, nah, I'm kidding. I'm not going to fire you. I was toying with you, Booker, to prove that I am in control. It's just a message to Sting that I control everything. This ain't WCW. This is WWE, and I'm the king of WWE. A little mind game trick. But kind of unnecessary segment, though. It's segment with Ric Flair right before Fastlane was more executed perfectly. It had better execution. This Booker T sketch was kind of poorly executed, in my humble opinion. I know they're trying to build up Triple H and Sting without Sting actually showing up on Raw every week. But at least play like video things. Like, during a Taker feud, Taker would air a video. And we haven't seen a Taker video yet from him with his feud against Bray Wyatt. I hope he answers that challenge soon. I hope to see some Sting mind games soon. Now on to our next matchup. The Divas Championship. Paige against Nikki Bella. There was a little Twitter trend going on. Give Divas a chance. As we all know, the NXT Divas are the best division in all of women's wrestling. Because of one reason. They get the time to wrestle. They don't get 2-minute quick matches. They actually have time to wrestle. AJ kind of started that trend by rallying the Stephanie McMahon to give Divas a chance. Even Vince commented on it saying they're going to try. Well, today was a new step in the right direction tonight. This match was actually one of the best Divas matches on Raw in a while. It wasn't that long. It was not long as usual. It was like 8 minutes, including a commercial break. It's kind of weird they had the match start, then they had it on the WWE app. But still, the rest of it was actually pretty interesting. You know, they actually gave them some time to actually wrestle Paige and Nikki Bella. Even though Nikki's not one of the best wrestlers in the world, at least she tried to try to wrestle in not 2 minutes. You know, even though we had a screwy little ending, like I mentioned, a DQ. So Paige looked pretty good in this matchup. It was, like I said, it was actually a fun little matchup for what it was. You know, take away the screwy ending for a second. The only way it was necessary was for AJ to come back. But it was done effectively, though. As Paige looked pretty good, taking out Nikki, sister Brie. Brie was trying to distract Paige, and Paige had no avail to it. She drop-kicked Nikki's sister Brie out of the ring. Nikki was going to capitalize, but then Paige saw it coming, and she nailed with a big punch and set up a submission. The PTO, but then Brie got back up, causing a DQ by attacking Paige. And there was a little rumor going about AJ coming back tonight. I didn't think that AJ was going to come back at all. I didn't know she was on break. I thought she was done with the company. Like Rey Mysterio is now. So, I think we all knew Rey Mysterio was going to be fired soon enough. Because you haven't seen him in a while. He's no longer on the contract with the company. So then there were people chanting for AJ. This is New Jersey, home state. So then we saw AJ coming out in double team with Paige against the Bellas. Now these two, Paige and AJ, have had their differences. They've been friends, enemies, and frenemies, and put up some good matches. But now they're on the same page, pun the pun, against the Bellas, which makes sense. Because two divas against the Bellas are better than one. Because the Bellas bully both these girls. So I would love to see like a fatal four-way at WrestleMania between Bellas and Nikki and Bella, Brie, and Paige and AJ. I don't want a Divas tag. I want a Divas title match. So after that, so at least the best part about this was, like I said, even though we had a screwy ending, it wasn't necessary to see AJ come back. But still, at least hopefully to keep this direction going. At least they show effort in trying to give divas on the main roster some time to actually wrestle. Hopefully this shows signs that WWE will give divas a chance to wrestle more time on the main roster like they do on NXT. And I think the fans like me should give it a chance too. Instead of calling divas matches piss breaks, we gotta appreciate the fact that WWE's trying to put some effort to finally caring about the divas again. All you now is better divas wrestlers like Charlotte come in. Then we'll get some traction, but at least WWE's on the right direction. Let's see if they keep it going. They don't fuck it up like they always do everything else. Anyway, on to our next segment involving the Seth Rollins Daily Show. I actually kind of like this segment, even though it was segment heavy one tonight. Most of these segments were kind of necessary and kind of fun, especially Seth Rollins trying to be all comedy. I did like his jokes during this segment involving the Daily Show. He even had the real Daily Show intro and the music. And there goes I know it because my dad was a big Jon Stewart fan. He loved the Daily Show. He was big into politics, but he doesn't watch the politic news anymore because it just makes him rage so much. Because it's like what's happening in the country about the government fucking things up. I don't want to talk about the government because that's another different show. But now my dad's in the spiritual side now because he don't want to think about the government. He knows that the world is fucked. So he doesn't want to see it anymore because he knows he doesn't want to wrap his brain around it. He wants to focus on other things to wrap his brain around. But he still likes Jon Stewart. It was kind of cool to see Jon Stewart actually show up on Raw tonight. This is something I thought would never happen. Usually when celebrity shows up on Raw, it's unnecessary. Like Wiz Khalifa on Raw next week. That's questionable. Jon Stewart showing up, he's a fan. And it was actually kind of fun. Seeing Jon Stewart there, talking to Rollins, talking to him. I actually liked it. I thought this promo saying that, Rollins, you think he's so bad, like the poster boy. And you took your shortcuts. You didn't earn your way to this spot. Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, they've earned their spots. You took the cheap way to get to the top. You kissed ass and took your shortcuts. And then these two got it on. They had a little brawl. Like Rollins was going to confront him. John was trying to escape. JNG security was there. And then Randy Orton came out. It looked like Orton was going to help Rollins. But it kind of inadvertently didn't help Rollins. With that distraction, he inadvertently gave Stewart the opportunity to low blow Seth Rollins and made the escape. I said this last week that Orton's making a slow turn. He's going to pretend he's on the authority side, then turn on him later. So he's toying with him. He's thinking he's on their side. He's going to make him think he's on their side again. He's like, Rollins, you're embarrassing yourself. You could have really beat up Jon Stewart. And it was pretty good. Like I said, most of these guest spots are not done perfectly. Like the Michael Strahan segments were stupid. But this segment with Jon Stewart was pretty good. And pretty well executed. It was kind of fun. I want to see what to do with Wiz Khalifa, though. And I do want to mention one thing before I get to next matchup here. Raw next week is going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This will be the first WWE live event in the state of Pennsylvania since the Royal Rumble. So I wonder how the fans are going to be like in Philly. Or Pittsburgh next week. So I wonder what it's going to be like. Especially when Reigns comes out. And of course, they're going to get a big reception to Daniel Bryan, who came out for our next match against Luke Harper, who at the time was walking out with the IC Championship after playing the hot potato game with it again. Doing the Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose match. Fun match between Luke Harper and D. Bryan, who've had their issues before when Luke was on the Wyatt family. Last year, of course. And it was a decent match. It was the speed of Bryan against Luke Harper's power. And boy, oh boy, Luke Bryan tossed D. Bryan around like a rag doll at times. Countering D. Bryan's big kicks and fast moves with that power. He was trying to go for a clothesline. But then as Harper kicked out of a big move and tried to take him down, D. Bryan countered with the S-lock and made Harper start attempting. In the 1-2-3 victory. Now, during this match, we would see Bad News Barrett come out to try to reclaim the IC Championship. And the hot potato game continues. R-Truth came out. He tried to take the belt. And then Dean Ambrose came out. They had a brawl. And then Luke Harper started nailing everybody. Because D-Bar was celebrating on the table. That's when Barrett came out. Trying to take the belt. And Ambrose came out. R-Truth started taking the title. And then he got pummeled by Harper. And Harper walked out with the belt. But then here comes Dolph Ziggler. Nailing Harper with a super kick. He was walking out with the IC Championship. I predicted on my wall review and also on my Attack Sports that we would have a match for the IC title of WrestleMania. I know it was going to be a ladder match at the time between Bad News Barrett, R-Truth, Dolph Ziggler, and Dean Ambrose. Those four: B&B, Ambrose, Truth, and Ziggler. Now we can add D-Bryan to the mix because D-Bryan was facing down Ziggler. Now there was rumors about a Daniel Bryan Ziggler one-on-one match. I would love to see that still, but having D-Bryan in an IC title match with Ziggler at the same time, ladder match could be very intriguing. And add Luke Harper to the mix. So we have 6 possible people, 5 possible challenges for Bad News Barrett to take him on for the IC Championship in a ladder match. And then, as I mentioned in the Attack Reports as well today, Alundra Blaze, aka Medusa, is going to the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Now, Scott Hall / Razor Ramon, he went in last year. He went in under his WWE name, Razor Ramon. He didn't go in as Scott Hall. Same with Medusa. This year she's going in, but under her WWE name, Alundra Blaze, not Medusa. But they do acknowledge her era as Medusa in the promo they had. And I think Medusa / Alundra Blaze is a big influence on the wrestlers of today. I think she does deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame. Probably a little bit more than Bushwhackers, but still. Very eclectic bunch for the Hall of Fame with Alundra Blaze, Bushwhackers, Rikishi, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Much overdue. Wish he was still alive, but still. Interesting fight to see him in the Hall of Fame. Now on to probably one of my favorite segments besides the Jon Stewart segment. Paul Heyman coming out. Now, Brock Lesnar was supposed to be on Raw last week. He was advertised. He didn't show up. I found out later in the week. Says in my Attack Sports as well. Sorry to cheap plug my Attack Sports, but I keep mentioning it because I mentioned all these things in my Attack Sports today during my Raw preview. Brock Lesnar walked out because there was a apparent contract dispute. And rumors were flying about him going back to the UFC after his contract's up, especially seeing him at UFC 184 this past Saturday. And then Heyman came out going on a shoot. He's like, yes, Brock Lesnar will be at WrestleMania. He will fulfill his obligations. He will show up whenever he damn pleases, and he will remain champion as long as he wants. And I loved Heyman's promo. I love this promo tonight. He was a great promo. He was ripping on the crowd. He was making fun of everybody. He even mentioned Ronda Rousey. But Brock Lesnar going to beat him up in 14 seconds like Rousey did. So there was some big moments. There was some great moments in the Heyman promo. It was his own little pipe bomb. And we saw CM Punk chance tonight. Get over it. He's not coming back. And a couple of times doing Heyman's promo, his mic went out. I don't know if it was intended or not, but I love that his mic went out a few times. He even had to get another mic. He's like, you can tell we're in New Jersey because the sound guy's a Jerseyan. It was like a fun little promo, and he went off big time. I think it was worked, shoot, or not. It was a fun shoot to watch, especially with the emotion coming out of Heyman after what happened with Lesnar last week. So, especially, like, he could have just went out there after what happened with Lesnar last week and tried to play a character. But instead of character, he broke it, and he went off, and it was a great promo tonight. Great promo from Heyman. Now, on to our next matchup involving the man of WrestleMania that will take on Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Heyman went out before he even had a chance to confront Reigns in any way, shape, or form. And Rollins would come out later on after that, of course, to start the main event. With all the authority at ringside, you had JJ Security, Big Show, Kane, and then Randy Orton came out eventually during the matchup. It was a decent little matchup. Reigns did decently well. I think he did better after the match. I'll get to that in a second. So, Wayne tried to come in with his big power moves, trying not to be repetitive, but he did okay. I think, in my mind, Rollins carried the match. These two were supposed to fight a couple months ago, and they've had a couple matches since, but with screwy endings. Another one tonight, but at least we got a pin, not a DQ. So, we would see these two brawl, and of course, we would see many interferences from the Authority, with JJ Security getting involved. I'm surprised they didn't get the cue, because if we saw them getting involved. But Reigns took them all out. JJ Security got in the match. They got pummeled for their helping. And every time they would come in, Rollins would capitalize with a big kick or a big move. And then he was going for the curb stomp a couple times. And then Reigns was went for a spear a few times. Kane, like I said, a lot of interferences from the Authority. Kane distracting referee, kneeling Reigns with a steel chair. And of course, the big interference would signal the end of the matchup. Was Reigns was trying to set up the Superman punch. Referee got distracted by J&J and Kane Big Show. And Orton took advantage of that distraction by hanging on to Reigns' leg, preventing him to do anything, tripped him. And then with that distraction, Rollins would capitalize with the roll-up and the 1-2-3 victory for Seth Rollins with a little help from his Authority buddies. Especially when Orton. With these two ending up going for a feud soon, it's going to happen. Orton's going to turn. Because you can see, like, everyone was celebrating. You can see as they were walking out to the ring, like, Kane and Big Show and J&J and Rollins were, like, hugging, like, yeah, we won. And then Orton did not say anything. He didn't touch him. And if you look very closely, when Orton walked by the camera as he was going on the ramp, he gave a little wink. He was he's like, I'm playing with him right now. I am gonna turn face soon. I am gonna face Rollins at Mania. He's just toying with them. So as Rollins went out to the ramp, all the rest of the Authority was outside the ring still, and Reigns got back up. He was furious after getting screwed over by Orton. These are the best parts. I'll give Reigns credit for these moves after the match. He actually did pretty well after the match. He had some great moves that I've never seen him do before. At least he's trying to sound like critics kind of. He did okay in the matchup, but after the match he had some great moves, especially. I've never seen him fly over the top rope like he did. Over the top rope on top of the Authority. Kane, Big Show, J&J, and Rollins. Took them all out with a big flying dive over the top. And then took out Orton outside. He tried to brawl with Orton. Then he got back out to the ring. And then Big Show got in there. He got a spear for his helping. And Kane got speared a little bit. And then the best move of the night from Reigns was Rollins was going with the top rope. Now, we've seen a mid-air RKO before from Randy Orton many times. But it's probably the first time we've ever seen a mid-air spear from Reigns. And the impact of that spear, Rollins came off the top rope, and Reigns nailed him with the spear in mid-air. Just the impact. I was like, damn! I'll give Reigns credit for that. I'll actually give him credit for that. That was actually pretty damn good. I'll give him credit for those moves that he did after the match. The big dive over the top rope, and the spear in mid-air to Rollins. That was like, bam! The impact of that was like awesome. I'll give Reigns credit for that. Still got some work to do, but at least I'll give him credit for trying to be exciting. Still got to work on the mic skills, but hey, at least he's trying. But we'll see what happens, like I say, next week. Raw's in Philadelphia. Raw's in Pittsburgh next week. The first WWE live event since the Royal Rumble in the state of Pennsylvania. So I wonder how they're going to react to Reigns then. So there you go. As of right now, the WrestleMania card looks like this. Sting and Triple H, official. Reigns, Lesnar, official. But I still think Rollins is going to cash in at Mania against Reigns if he wins. And then we have the Under the Giant Battle Royal. I think Miz is in it. Ryback's in it. Axel's in it. Cena's not in it. We also have the IC title match, ladder match. No people in it besides Bad News Barrett, but I'm predicting it will be Bad News Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan. Just to put them in a match. Matches that we think may happen. Possible match between the Bellas and AJ and Paige. Cena and Rusev. Orton and Rollins. And I think it's the only match I can think of that may possibly happen. That's far from the scenes we've seen tonight. So there you go. We'll see what happens as we head towards that World War III. And Taker and Bray. Taker and Bray. Not official yet. But hopefully we get an answer from Taker soon. Whether he's in person or a video segment. And that is it for the WWE Raw review tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See ya later. Have a good night. Yeah.